Hello, folks. My name is Lawrence, and today I'm very happy to introduce to you one of our keynote speakers, on our upcoming Brain Value conference on the 1st and 2nd of December called Neuromining for Accountancy, Finance, and Marketing. I'm very happy to interview Dr. Suresh Sood, who will be speaking on the topic of behavioral audit. Now, for those who do not know, Dr. Suresh Sood is in fact a leading data scientist and expert in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and complex analytical techniques used in big data. So welcome, Suresh. Thank you again for agreeing to do this short interview. Now, the things, in the world of AI have been moving so fast, haven't they, Suresh?
Oh, amazingly, Lawrence, because look, there's a paper published every hour as we speak on a well-known archive called Archive, actually, Archive spelt with an X, from Cornell University. So that's one way in which we can measure the knowledge. And this is about 200 times the number of publications from 10 years ago. So that's one way. But the speed of AI is also governed by the computational power. And given that these models we run, the artificial intelligence models, we can run them up on the cloud, that computational power available to us is doubling every 3 months. So the complexity, our models, they have, nowadays, we have models of billions of variables, billions, 200 billion plus, literally trillions, actually, we're moving into, literally like the number of neurons in the human brain. But the third area I'd like to just touch on in answering your question, because you've started something, is that it's counterintuitive where AI is working. Most people think, oh, I'll be able to do all my boring accounting work and so on. Look, that's all automation stuff. That can be done, and you don't need AI for that. But what's counterintuitive is the creative work can now be done by AI. In fact, if you talk to any of the Brain Value team, they'll let you know where we are starting to apply AI in experimentation. But let me give you an example, if I can, Lawrence. Look, let me see if I can share my screen. And this is an example available to everyone, essentially, if they wish. I'm going to actually use an environment called DALL-E, D-A-L-L-C for anyone listening to this broadcast. And look, let's just have a look at what DALL-E can do. So I'm going to say, an accountant climbs aboard a rocket ship with, let's say, a unicorn, right? That's in plain English, right? We're going to do with a unicorn. Now I'm going to let DALL-E, and there's an open source version of this as well available, to generate from that text. So in other words, DALL-E has to understand the meaning, and it will give us an image that is uniquely available to me, to us. That's just an image generated in the past. It's just there to take up some time. Now, what did we ask? We asked DALL-E for an accountant climbs aboard a rocket ship with a unicorn. Gee, I like some of these, right?
Yes.
But let's do one better. Let's say in impressionist style, because this is artificial intelligence. Maybe it knows what an impressionist painting is. So again, this is just an oil painting by Matisse that the computer came up with. Or the system, but we're now just looking at an impressionist style. There you go. Now,
cool.
I'm not going to, yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Very cool.
So I just wanted the listeners to understand AI is now in a place where we just would not have dreamt about. And this is important in our audit accountancy work in the sense that we can unleash all this text that's available, the unstructured information, and we can use that, but we don't look for words. We look at the meaning of the text, right?
Right.
Sorry, Lawrence, I think your first question I found quite exciting. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it sort of leads, quite nicely to, what are you going to discuss with us on the conference on December the 1st on behavioral audit? Yeah.
So look, bit of a history lesson too, even though we did that with some of the painting work I've shown you. Audit has not changed in 2,500 years. Now, why did I pick 2,500 years? That's the golden age of Athena. When arts pervaded Greece, when we had the Parthenon built and so on. Well, guess what? Audit was used quite extensively, one, to communicate to the public that audit the amount of money being spent on the capital works, but also to catch fraud, right the way up to the top. So audit, and I will say again, in essence, at core, has not changed in 2,500 years. Audit today for us represents a snapshot in time of the financial statements. And in fact, as you know, Lawrence, I think in the past you may have discussed, why can't auditors pick up fraud? Well, the behavioral audit is designed to do that. It's designed to look at everything beyond financial information, the non-financial information. Actually read the annual reports and see if there's anything interesting there. We can look at the text, we can see if deception's taking place. But more importantly, rather than a rear view, let's look at the financial statements from the past. We want to take a forward-looking view. We try to predict the financial statements. And through that prediction, using big data, if we don't hit that prediction, that would send a red light, an alarm bell.
Yes.
In essence, though, we could look at all the e-commerce transactions. And as you know, Bert focuses on is a specialist in e-commerce. And hence, you have to scratch your head and ask, why wasn't Wirecard found the big fraud? So in a nutshell, what's beautiful about auditing, it hasn't changed, but we can infuse artificial intelligence into the audit processes. It'll be a different product, so it can generate more revenues for those that do it.
Yep.
And it's the 22nd century, in case no one's realized. So forward-looking statements, data visualization to see if there's any outliers. We expand the information data sets. We can look at all sorts of data sets we have available, to everything from weather to the state of cryptocurrencies. And we can look at the masculinity, feminism of individual actors that are being audited. And for the first time, take their human behavior into account.
Yes.
So I hope that's at least whet people's appetite for what we might be covering.
Yes. Okay. So that's both fascinating and intriguing. Thanks, Suresh. So there you have it, folks. Now for those who are interested to learn more from what Suresh is saying, and even more, in the conference, as the world is developing in such a complex and fast pace, please come and join us in this conference. There's a link provided below. So just go ahead and click that link to register. Thank you. Thanks, Suresh.
Thanks, Lawrence.